Welcome back, beautiful star seeds, light hopping wanderers, multi-dimensional day trippers, and certified dream weavers. You are tuned into the Astral Tourist podcast, where the veil is thin and the popcorn's always non-physical. Kind of a little joke there, since I can't taste food very well in the astral, but maybe some of you can enjoy the popcorn for me. I am back from my travels. I was recently in New York City and New Jersey areas. So my main astral projection while traveling this time was seeing that huge UFO fleet. So you can refer back to that sharing. I did have a few other smaller ones. I'll just touch on them briefly, and then we'll get into this episode, because I like to make sure and journal everything, and so should you if you're working on astral projection and dream recall. Okay, so there was the massive UFO fleet, and then everything kind of was just very disjointed, and that's because I became very tired. We were in these rooms where the in this one in particular, the bed was too small. I couldn't move around. And I kept waking up like every hour. Now, normally I wake up a few times a night, but every hour for, more than a week is really pushing things for me. But I will share what I saw. So in one, I was seeing these beautiful waterfalls like in Niagara, but they were smaller. And I remember there was somebody else with me showing me and pointing things out. It was really wonderful. But again, like a miniature. So that's all I have on that one. And then there was a man reaching across me in some of my hypnagogia. And I believe my astral body had manifested and had just not exited. Often I will astral project or make intentions to the future. So I believe I was seeing like the next person that would be in the room. And he did not seemed to notice me at all, and he was reaching across like to the little drawers that are on the sides of the beds. So I just reminded myself, hey, you're trying to go to the future all the time. Your subconscious has made the effort, but you're not going anywhere. And so the next one, I instantly shifted into my bedroom here at home. The windows looked really misty or maybe frosted over, so I think I actually made the time jump into the winter. I flew out and I did my sideways method. I remember I have the playlist and the how-tos, and I cover going through walls and windows and things like that. Things to watch out for, and I even have a whole manual, everyone, if anybody is interested in that. So anyway, I got outside. I was flying around for a while. I don't know how long, but I just remember being free, free of the pain, because the bed was making my body ache and everything, and I just felt so wonderful and free from that pain. I knew it wouldn't last long, so I was just really, making the most of it that I could. And I came across this group of people who were telepathing about how vivid their dreams were lately. So I asked, why do you think that is? What's going on lately? And I know that the energies have been heightened lately with everything going on and the moon and all that. But I was curious what they would say. So I didn't bring any of that up. I just asked them why they thought that their dreams were more vivid. And they were talking like they were dreams, not astral projecting. These were some semi-lucid people that were astral projecting, though. And one of them said, solstice is coming up in midsummer. And I was like, oh my gosh, did I forget about solstice? And I had. When I woke up, I looked it up, and here we are, right on the verge of summer solstice and midsummer. And for the folks on the other side of the planet, winter solstice and midwinter. So that was great. I'm always so happy when I get reminded about these things. That's one of the positives about jumping a little ahead into the future. If you forget something, it's kind of like getting a little bit of the news ahead of time. I mean, remember, nothing's exact. There's so many dimensions and things can vary. So, you can't exactly get the lotto numbers unless you astral project a lot and, try multiple times. And I've actually been able to get like 2 or 3 at a time, but nothing, no big wins. I'm happy if I get $10 or $20, and that takes so much effort. I almost don't even bother with it anymore. But I know other people have had more luck. And I have this whole other video about why it's so difficult to prove astral projection, because I think a lot of people have this misunderstanding. You can just astral project into a room and read numbers on the wall and stuff like that. But no, remember, you're in a different dimension, or many different dimensions, depending what you're up to. So let's get into this episode, today's episode, which is totally inspired by Astral Club, waving hi to Astral Club out there, and his experience at Kepler 186. So props to him. So I don't want to give too much away, but his experience reminded me of a wild astral adventure I had some time ago. I figured it was finally time to revisit that. It was golden, mantis filled, and transdimensionally cinematic. This is an astral experience I had July 2nd, 2024. And just a quick note, this is a personal visionary astral projection experience. I don't own Doctor Who or any related characters. Those, of course, belong to the fine folks at the BBC. So yeah, there's a little Doctor Who coming up here. New York City. Now, as an empath, let me tell you, New York City is basically a full contact sport for the nervous system, even when you're all layered up with the energy work and stuff and protection, all of that. I mean, at least it is for me, but I'm like hyper empathic person. People who are somewhere in the mid range, probably, with enough energy work, won't feel things nearly as much. And plus, I'm astral projecting, which regularly, which heightens sensation even more. So the energy, the people, the psychic soup of a million thoughts per second. Wow. And I'm an experienced traveler. I know to expect that. And it doesn't mean that you don't have to deal with it, though. You're right. Like, just with things in here in the physical, we know they're coming up, and we still have to manage things. So I wasn't even trying to astral project while I was there at the time. But as usual, sometimes it happens anyway. I can spontaneously astral project. And if that happens, I just go with it. And it's kind of like my subconscious saying, you need a vacation from your vacation. And I don't actually recall if that was a vacation-based trip. I don't think so. Some of these are trips I accompany my life partner with for work and stuff. So even with all my psychic protections up, the city had me vibing like a wet sponge in an electromagnetic storm. And yeah, right now I'm reading from my notes because I can't remember everything, like Sheldon on TV from The Big Bang. And I have so many astral projections that if I don't write this all down, some of the details get lost. Other things are very vivid still. So when I finally did pop out of my body, I just let the flow carry me. I mean, I trust my subconscious. I trust my astral body, which goes all over the place a lot of the time, and I can't even remember a lot of it. But I've been doing this for so long. I know myself, and I go with it. And so where did I end up is the question. Question mark? A giant astral movie theater. Like huge, surreal, galactic AMC vibes with way better programming. And the movie's incredible. So Astral New York City is way cooler than regular New York City as far as the movie theaters go. At least, a little skip into the future. Your ticket gets you access to things that your physical brain can barely process sometimes. And it's amazing what they can do. I'm still working. I wrote down that I was still working through what I saw, but I've had plenty of time now, of course. And so the movie was a Doctor Who with Mantis aliens watching it beside me. Yes, Mantis aliens. And now before this, I have seen them sometimes in the Astral. I don't remember the specific occurrences at this time. But yes, let's continue on. At first, the film looked like something straight out of a Doctor Who episode, like a regular one, in our regular colors and everything. HD quality, though, like super fine. Strange alien environments, quirky timeline jumps. But then it all started to shift, which is the really cool part here. The colors turned rich brown and golden. The buildings morphed into curved, domed shapes. It felt ancient and futuristic at the same time. I was thinking like giant anthills, like tricked out or something. I don't know. The changeover there was incredible. Then subtitles appeared in an alien script, not English, not anything I fully understood, but I caught hints, especially words that translated in my mind as having lots of R's in them. Like, but it wasn't like the rolling R's in Spanish, like, no, it was more like, like a long with a high sound. It kind of, the script kind of looked like Korean or Chinese characters, but it totally wasn't. They were more blockish, and they were black, like black obsidian and like blockish colors. Like they all had like a squarish quality to them, but with different like forms and shapes coming out, like calligraphy with block shapes. I don't know. I'm doing my best to describe something here that I'm not sure is fully describable. And as I got more lucid, I whispered one of my go-to commands, clarity now, and then true form. This is my astral cue to drop all my mental filters and see things as they really are to the best of my ability anyway. And the next thing I know, instead of just being like kind of misty forms around me and stuff, I can see that I'm surrounded by full-on mantoid beings. They weren't super, well, some were shorter and some were taller. And they all seemed rather majestic to me. And I'm not sure if that was the astral space or if, like, I have this feeling they were like dressed up, even though I didn't see clothing on them. Like this is a special event kind of thing. And they were thoroughly engrossed in this Doctor Who meets parallel timeline space opera extravaganza that's now going on in sepia tones and those golden brown colors. They were not casual at all about this. They were so into the show. They were invested spiritually, emotionally, really excited. The vibe was movie night at the Mantis Hive Theater or something, and I got to be there for it. So I'm using the best picture that I could make on AI, which doesn't show the obsidian black colors that the glyphs actually were. But I think it's pretty good otherwise. Also, I was more towards the front row rather than the back. So as for the movie itself, the Doctor kept changing faces and genders, which we already have here, of course, on our good planet Earth. Shifting through timelines and alien locations. But this was like a super dimensional best of compilation from various parallel realities or something. Like they were clearly curating for maximum emotional resonance. Multiverse binge session. So I asked where I was just like as a checkup because I like to do that. I've trained myself to do that. Like I was getting really absorbed into the show, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't still dreaming. And like, where am I? Where am I? Am I really still here? This is amazing. What's going on? Here I am with all these mantoid beings. And I asked, am I on another planet? Did I get to the Mantis planet? Another dimension. Yeah, I was kind of tripping out a little bit because of the way the movie was and how excited they were. I could feel like their buzzing emotions, and they weren't human emotions, but I could still feel all that energy. And they were really buzzy. So I was wondering, like, did I astrally hop halfway across the galaxy after dealing with the MTA and the street pretzels, or is the movie just as good? I was kind of tripping a little bit. And that telepathic response I could pick up from one of them sitting near me was New York and Bulgaria. I kind of felt like they wanted me to shush, like, hey, we're watching a movie here. And so New York confirmed, yeah, okay, I'm astral projecting in New York. I got it. I got that. Bulgaria, though, like, I don't know. And I'm still not sure if it meant like maybe the Doctor Who scene in this parallel reality clip they were showing was maybe Doctor Who being Doctor Who in Bulgaria, or maybe it's some kind of amalgamated dimension where I was in New York in this New York movie theater, and it somehow blended in with a dimension from Bulgaria where these mantis beings were watching it. Some kind of a combined vibe there. I don't know, because I was so happy I was watching Doctor Who and hear all these alien mantis beings, so excited and happy. And there are so many negative reports that I read about these beings, but I have a feeling, they knew I was human and they didn't even care. They cared about the show. And from what I can recall from my previous experiences, which are just emotional memories now, I don't remember ever having a problem with the mantis beings. I always remember them as being like super helpful and sometimes maybe too loud or something, like that buzzy vibe that I heard earlier in that experience. That's all coming back to me. Like I remember like this incredible buzzing in my brain and stuff, but I don't remember any negativity. So this was a really fun one for me, and I'm so grateful to Astral Club for like triggering that memory of this experience that I had by sharing his. So thanks for listening, luminous ones. There's something oddly comforting about knowing that even mantis aliens are diehard Doctor Who fans. Am I right? If they can take time to chill and enjoy some quality time travel TV, maybe the rest of us can too. If this episode blew your third eye wide open, or gave you a good chuckle anyway, please like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment about the weirdest, trippiest place you've ever astral projected to. This was not my trippiest one, but hey, mantis all over the place in there. It's up there. Until next time, keep your auric field strong, your third eye moisturized, and your consciousness passport ready. Happy astral travels, and this is the Astral Tourist signing out.